At Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, we believe in spiritual living. Above all else, it is a philosophy that teaches us how to think and not what to think. We invite everyone to practice this philosophy by living in principle. We believe that God is all there is, and each person's relationship to God is a personal one. Every person, place, and thing, and all the space in between is not only an expression of God, but God itself. All love, peace, and beauty that is God exists within each person right now. Together we are all connected as one. Our faith allows us to apply this philosophy to our lives in every moment of every day. As we live in love, we see love revealed and flowing through the world around us. We act as citizens of this spiritual community at all times. This is how we think. We believe in God, we believe in ourselves, and we believe in you because we believe in spiritual living. We are the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont.
And as we acknowledge this God moment by closing our eyes and taking in this big, big breath and holding it and release. What a joy to understand that breath is ours every moment of every day that we're living, as a reminder that God is and all there is. And therefore, you and I, we're both God stuff. And how wonderful is that? For each of us gets to use and be this God stuff in beautiful ways to enhance life in all it's meant to be. How lucky and fortunate we are that each of us has chosen to be here in person or online to take part in this center's beautiful way of understanding how the world works with our philosophy as science of mind. And today, what a joy it is in this unity consciousness that all of us are together. We get to be here and listen to whatever it is that we need to hear and get it. And we have that because we have Practitioner Neil Hainer, almost minister, here with us, who knows how to construct a talk so it's meaningful, usable. Not only do we get forward to hearing all this and how well this beautiful service is put together by Adrian and Chuck, and how through thick and thin, so to speak, we've always been here. Such a joy to be grateful for. All of this and so much more. And you and I can affirm and aver by saying, and so it is.
Thank you, Corliss. No pressure now, right? So once again, my name is Neil Hainer. I am a practitioner and ministerial student. And I am once again honored to be with you here this morning at the wonderful Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont. I always feel like I'm with family that I'm here this morning. So the Center for Spiritual Living has a yearly theme of living everyday wonder. And we have been talking about that intersection between spiritual principle and your everyday life. Because spiritual principle, spiritual living doesn't mean anything if you're not living it. And so each month we've been talking about different areas of our life and how we can apply our spiritual teaching to just not knowing and reading the books and knowing the principles, but applying it to every area of our lives. So this month we've been taking a look at and focusing on the body. And last week we talked about how our bodies, our relationship with our bodies is one of the most important relationships, the most important relationship that we will ever have. And we're going to continue to have that conversation this morning. So my talk today is loving this body. And to get us started in true teacher form, I have some amazing facts about your body. Now, I can't guarantee that any of this is true. It comes from that divine intelligence called the internet. But it sounds good. First one says, infants are born with approximately 300 bones, but as they grow, some of these bones fuse together. By the time they reach adulthood, you only have 206 bones. I don't know if 300 is the right number on there, but you have more bones when you're born than you do later on in life. More than half of your bones are located in your hands, wrists, feet, and ankles. More than half of your bones. Every second, your body produces 25 million new cells. That means in 15 seconds, you will have produced more cells than there are people in the United States. Half of which live in California. It feels like sometimes. The largest bone in the human body is the femur, also known as the thigh bone. The smallest bone is the stirrup bone, which is located inside your eardrum. There is anywhere between 60,000 and 100,000 miles of blood vessels in the human body. If they were taken out and laid end to end, they would be long enough to travel around the world more than 3 times. Teeth are considered part of the skeletal system, but are not counted as bones. Despite accounting for 2% of our body mass, the brain uses 20% of our oxygen and blood supply. Some a little bit more, some maybe a little less. While humans are not the biggest, fastest, or strongest animals around, we are the best at something. Long distance running. Our long legs, upright posture, and ability to shed heat via sweat are all factors that make us good runners. Some of us, not me. In fact, early humans used to hunt their prey by chasing it for long periods of time until the animals literally died from exhaustion, a technique known as persistence hunting. There you go. So you think you didn't have enough persistence. About 60% of your body is made up of water. And pound for pound, your bones are stronger than steel. A block of bone the size of a matchbox can support up to 18,000 pounds of weight. I'll get you thinking this morning. So aren't our bodies amazing things? Sometimes we forget just how amazing you are. But here's the spiritual principle behind that. Our bodies are physical representations of a spiritual universe. That means the same intelligence that we call God or spirits, that same divine intelligence that created a loving, beautiful, well-balanced, and intelligent universe created your body. Your body is a manifestation of that beautiful, intelligent, and divine energy. Your body is a product of that. And so your body is part of that beauty, part of that love, part of that divine intelligence. Our spiritual teaching, that we call science of mind, or used to be called religious science, got started with this idea of physical healing. And while we have wandered away from that a bit, all of our founders, our elders of our teaching, all taught a humongous amount about the body and physical healing. And if you're interested in that, I invite you to do some reading, talk to a practitioner, or take a class. Because just me talking here on a Sunday, I could go on forever. So your body has an intelligence all of its own. It knows how to heal you. Just think about that amazing fact for a second. If you break a bone, your body knows how to heal that. Your body knows how to keep you from getting sick most of the time. If you don't think that's true, talk to somebody with a compromised immune system and how easily you can get sick when your body is not working in that way. Most of the time, it keeps you from getting sick. I don't know about you, but some of our joints can predict the weather. Your body cleans and maintains itself. It's constantly interpreting all the signals of sounds and visions, all of your senses. Your brain is a supercomputer, analyzing and adapting to all the things in its environment at amazing speeds. It keeps your heart beating without you having to think about it. It reminds you that you're hungry and thirsty. It senses your emotional state and responds. It keeps you safe when you're in that unsafe situation and you get that adrenaline rush. Your body responds to help keep you safe. It responds to your thoughts. Ernest Holmes, who is the founder of our spiritual philosophy, wrote this in the Living the Science of Minds. It's kind of a longer quote, but I really enjoyed it. He said, "And now let us consider what wonderful miracles life is always working in our bodies. When even one minute cell is injured, there is an intelligence that immediately puts all the chemistry of our body to work to replace it with a new cell, one that is whole, complete, and perfect. This is how wounds heal. It is almost startling how the divine intelligence works for us to give us health and comfort. Even in such a simple instance as stepping from a warm room to a cold winter air, if we had eyes to see it, we would witness a miracle of the one life at work for our comfort. This life immediately causes the circulatory system, the respiratory system, and the digestive system to go to work in such a way as to bring about an inner balance of temperature to counteract the cold winds and keep the body free from pain and discomfort. But nature does not seem to interfere with our thought processes in the same way. And this is because we are individuals and have the right of self-choice. And so we are permitted to store up liabilities in the mind, which tend to perpetuate, there we go, our discomfort. Wow, that was pretty bad. So even Ernest Holmes talked about this divine intelligence that is at the center of every cell of your body. Every molecule, every process has this divine intelligence behind it. The metaphysician and teacher of teachers, Emma Curtis Hopkins, is quoted, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here. She says, "If a thought can make you blush, imagine what else thought can do." If a thought can make you blush, imagine what else a thought could do. Your body is constantly listening to you. It's listening to your thoughts, it's listening to your words, it's listening to your environment. And in that divine intelligence, that loving intelligence, is trying to maintain that balance within, that homeostasis. But it's always listening to you. So what messages are you sending your body? How many of you are familiar with the work of Louise Hay? Healing your body, right? She says, take a little time to listen to the words you say. If you hear yourself saying something 3 times, write it down. It has become a pattern for you. At the end of a week, look at the list you've made, and you'll see how your words fit your experiences. You see, if what you're saying about your body becomes a pattern, it becomes not only instructions for the universe, but it becomes the mold, the framework, the mold that the universe pours itself into to create your experience. Listen for the patterns. Ernest Holmes says, this is Emma Curtis Hopkins again. Our consistent thinking patterns create our experiences. Our consistent thinking patterns create our experience. Therefore, by changing our thinking patterns, we can change our experience. So my goal today is to perhaps shift your thinking to make you maybe a little bit more mindful about the messages that you say, that you send your body. How often do you complain about your body? How much time do you spend thinking about what your body can't do yet versus what it can do today? But the second part of my talk is also about listening to the messages your body is sending you. It's a relationship. Not one of, I am separate from my body, but you are the consciousness, you are the driver, you are the volition. That is the divine spirit, that is the temple of your body. You are the temple, and that divine spirit is within you. So listening to the messages that your body sends you. Of course, a common experience that a lot of us have is one of pain and discomfort. But pain itself is simply your body's way of saying, slow down and pay attention to something. We all have moments when our bodies are in pain and in discomfort. It is a message. It doesn't have to feel like punishment. It's simply a messenger that says, slow down and pay attention. I know I have cerebral palsy since I was born, which has caused me to have some arthritis in one of my hips. And whenever I don't get enough exercise or I am working too hard, I get that wonderful mindful pain that says, slow down and pay attention, right? It is a call for mindfulness. It doesn't have to be about negativity or resignation or beating up on your body. It's simply trying to get your attention and your intention. But of course, pain is not the only symptom that we have in our bodies. But what if we took the opportunity to hear, to deeply listen to what our bodies are trying to tell us? You see, if our bodies are made by a divine intelligence, then we can tap into that intelligence. We have the ability to intuitively tap into and sense what our bodies are trying to tell us. Rather than following a pattern automatically, ask your body to speak to you. What does your body need today? And be willing to become still and listen to that intelligence. I remember Reverend Liz once telling us about a situation where she had some pain, and she was talking about this idea of talking to the pain and asking it, what are you trying to tell me? What is the message that I need to be hearing that I'm not willing to be heard? Last week, Shannon Collins talked about the feather versus the 2x4, right? Being willing to listen to the feather of your body, those gentle nudgings of your body saying, hey, you need to drink more water. Hey, you need to get more sleep. Rather than the 2x4s of your body making you take that rest, right? So we have to become willing to become still and listen to the divine intelligence that is already in our body. The New Thought minister from, I think he's from Dallas, Roger Teal. He wrote this in a book called This Life is Joy. Imagine a more conscious relationship with your body. Imagine taking each day to listen to the innate wisdom and deep requests of this physical miracle. Learning your body's language, wants, and needs. Imagine being so attuned to your body that you innately sense what food your body wants, when it's important to eat, and how much to sleep. Imagine responding readily and lovingly to your body's longing for movement and exercise. Imagine the power of consciously dissolving inner toxins. Imagine a new lifestyle of nurturing your body in all the ways you are guided, along with the loving and blessing your body temple every day. Having imagined all of this, imagine also the enormous gifts of vitality, strength, resilience, powerful brain functioning, and longevity that will be returned to you. Greater body consciousness returns amazing dividends. We no longer have to demand that our body get our attention through disease like wake-up calls. Louise Hay is famous for her, that was Roger Teal, but Louise Hay is famous for her teaching in her book, Healing Your Life, about what various symptoms mean. Has anybody ever seen this book? She says that, if you have a sore throat, that means that you have something that you are trying to say that you haven't expressed. Or if you have back pain, that you might be feeling unsupported in your life, right? I don't always agree with that 100%. I don't think that personally is always true. But I definitely think that there's this idea of when something happens for you or comes up in your body, of asking, what's the message? What's the idea that your body is trying to be heard? Ernest Holmes believes that a vast majority of our illnesses and disease are somatic, meaning they are the result of something going on in your mind. And we say, change your mind, change your life. Right? Change your thinking, change your life. Change your mind, change the thinking you have about your body, and change your relationship with your body. I remember a couple of years ago, my grandfather fell, and he was not doing very well, and we were pretty certain that he was going to make his transition. And so I had a lot of emotions coming up for me. And you ever have that feeling like when you have a lot of emotions and you kind of get that, they call it the lump in your throat? I was getting that a lot, right? Just kind of feeling those emotions, maybe repressing them a little bit, not expressing them. I was having this just constant feeling of having a lump in my throat. And it was just that emotional feeling, right? But lo and behold, 2 months later, my doctor said, you have a lump on your thyroid. Interesting. It was benign, everything's well, and all is well. But that really was an observation for me about how much I was thinking, man, I just have this lump in my throat. And guess what? The universe said yes. Now, like I said, our spiritual philosophy has a lot to say about healing and mysticism and understanding your mind-body connections. But my point for today is just to listen to the messages that you send your body and listen to the messages that your body is sending you. And love your body. Love that relationship. Listen to the messages that your body is sending you and be willing to ask, why is this coming up? Why am I feeling this way? What is it that I need in this moment? Because here's the truth. Loving your body is loving God and honoring the divine intelligence at the center of every cell of your body. Your body is a perfect expression of God here and now. Not in 10 pounds, not once you stop taking that medication, not when you become a little shorter or a little taller. It is a divine expression now. And we have this sense of radical love, radical acceptance. I love and accept myself just as I am in this moment. I don't need to change anything unless I want to. And we have the tools for that if we do. Your body, this is Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind. He says, the body is the house in which for the present you are living, and you need to keep it in good repair by a right mental attitude toward it, experiences, and people. Your body is entitled to your respect. Your body is entitled to your respect. I saw this story, and it's from a guy named Joseph Mazzella, who's, I think, an actor and a producer. But I really like this story, and it's a little bit longer, but I want to share it with you this morning. I think you're going to hear my point. I woke up in a bad mood this morning. I had a fitful night's sleep, and my bad back was sore and tighter than ever. Sound familiar? My shoulder was starting to feel just as sore, too. I tried to stretch them out to no avail and stumbled into the bathroom. I looked in the mirror and saw the pain on my face. I certainly wasn't looking any younger either. My hair was now mostly gray and mostly gone on top. I was getting more and more age spots on my face. My wrinkles were deeper than ever. I recently had to get a stronger pair of glasses. My skin was thinner. I griped to God about it all. Why do our bodies start to wear out just when we finally learn how to live? Suddenly, I felt this thought drop into my mind. The car you drive isn't as important as the person behind the wheel. I smiled at that because I had had so many old used cars in my life. They all had their own personality. They all had quirks, troubles, and problems. They all required patience and repair. But they always got me to where I was going. Now that my body was starting to wear down, God was reminding me that I wasn't that body. I was the driver inside of it. I was the bright, shining soul within. I was the spirit that was both ageless and eternal. And while my car wasn't going to last forever, the driver was. Take good care of this body you drive around then. Nurture it. Keep it in good repair. Make it last as long as you can. But always remember, it isn't you. You are the person behind the wheel. You are the loving soul within. You are the child of God destined for eternal life. End quote. I love that story. So I also wanted to mention this morning, in closing, that today is June 12th, which is Loving Day, which is marking the day when the U.S. Supreme Court in 1967, 54 years ago, unanimously ruled in favor of Mildred and Richard Loving, making states' laws against interracial marriage unconstitutional. And I was reminded of this because, I don't know if you all saw the news, but there was a little incident yesterday at a gay pride parade with some white supremacists. And I just was reminded, and I wanted to called to remind you that love always ends in the win. Always ends, I can't say it. Love always wins in the end. There we go. And I wanted to close with this quote from Maya Angelou. She said, love... And remember, we're talking about love towards your body, too. Love recognizes no barriers. It jumps hurdles, leaps fences, penetrates walls to arrive at its destination full of hope. And so it is. So I invite any practitioners and ministers that are with us here this morning to hold our community, whether you are here in person or online. We enter into the attitude, the atmosphere, the spiritual practice of prayer. Recognizing that prayer doesn't change the universe, it changes us. And so we recognize in this moment, we remember that there is only one principle, one power, one presence at the center of it all. That principle, that power, that presence is the divine. It is God. It is infinite love, infinite wisdom, perfect balance, grace and ease, overflowing abundance, perfect, divine, right action. I know that all of that is present here this morning because God is present right here and right now. Filling this space, filling this time together, and filling each one of us. For I know that each one of us is a divine and perfect expression of that divine whole. That each one of us is a perfect and divine expression of divine intelligence, perfect right action. At the center of every breath of our body, every cell of our body, every action and reaction that is taking place within every organ of our body. I know that divine love, divine intelligence, divine perfection is flowing in and through and as every single cell of our body. For we are one with God and one with that perfect ideal, that perfect idea of our body. I claim and know that each one of us is a divine expression of the one. And knowing that is true, I also claim this morning, whatever it is that you feel in need of, I know that it is present here this morning because God is present. Wherever there is a need of abundance in your life, I know it is right there, right now. Wherever there is a need of love and grace and wisdom, it is right where you are here this morning. I claim it for you. I claim it on behalf of you. I claim it for myself. I claim it for this community. I claim it for the entire world, knowing that God is showing up, flowing in and through and as every human being in this world. For that is the perfect and divine truth. And I release this word into that law that knows only the word yes and reflects back to us perfectly everything that we place into it. And I declare all this to be true. And together we say, and so it is. I invite you to stand and, oh, no, maybe not. We have a closing song, and then we'll close with our benediction.
Well, before we do that,
Uh-oh.
you know, this guy has been just fantastic for us. He's been with us for like 5 years or so, and I'm so happy that Reverend Liz really pushed him to get on to school and that we were able to help, because he's going to be the best minister in the whole wide world. He's just got such a message, and he can send it so well to us. And I know that with this new minister, somehow, somewhere, these two are going to get together, and Neil will always be part of us, at least physically, mentally, emotionally. Our favorite child. Thank you, Neil, for all you've done.
So we have a closing song, I think, and then we will have our benediction.
Thank you for joining us for our Sunday service. Please remember to like, comment, and share this video on Facebook, YouTube, and any other social media you are a member of. To donate to CSL Beaumont, you can text GIVE to 951-420-6909, or you can visit our website at cslbeaumont.org and click the donate button at the top or bottom of the page. You can also mail your donation to CSL Beaumont, 802 Maple Avenue, Beaumont, California, 92223. Have a blessed day, and namaste.